In the wild, mysterious depths of Brittany, France, sits an old abandoned shack. Surrounded by ancient oaks and home to all manner of forest dwellers, it is here that we meet to share our stories. So pull up a seat, swing that light, grab your favourite beverage as we share another tantalising tale in the Freakin Shack.
Have you ever noticed how every Victorian ghost story begins with someone insisting that they don't believe in ghosts?
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, someone screams, the lights go out, door slams somewhere, and you hear footsteps chasing you up the bloody stairs.
Yeah.
That's just us, going about our normal routines.
It is more, yeah.
Stupid, uneducated humans typically ridiculous conclusions.
Welcome back, Shack Packers. Come on in. The fire's warm and the kettle's on. And the trees outside are doing that thing where they sound like they're whispering secrets.
Yeah, which is comforting. I mean, totally comforting. Nothing says relax like talking trees.
Yeah. It's like those ones in Snow White. Have you ever seen those with the faces on them? Where she goes through the forest.
Yeah.
The original Snow White, where she goes through the forest and all the trees are like looking at her with eyes and things. Nah.
Yeah, no. Nuh-uh. No, thank you.
We're recording tonight, obviously, from our little cabin tucked amongst Brittany's ancient oaks in our little shack, where our floorboards creak, candles flicker,
and our resident Victorian ghost occasionally sighs dramatically in the corner.
I do not sigh. I exhale with gravitas.
See? He's already warming up.
He is. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder, if you're listening and you've got a spooky story or an old family tale that's been passed down, or you've had something weird happen to you, spooky-wise or UFO-wise or something in that sort of genre, please send it to us, because we really, really want your stories. So send them to shackpackinbox@gmail.com.
We actually really do love reading them. And if you like, you could even be featured on the show.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Okay. Oh, I'm going to stop that just a second.
Quick question.
Go.
Quick question. What's your beverage?
Oh, my beverage now. My beverage, while I fiddle around with my light, there we go. You can just about see it. My beverage is coffee, but for Mother's Day yesterday, I treated myself.
Bottle of Baileys.
It was a bottle of Baileys, but it was a special bottle of Baileys because it had espresso coffee flavour in it.
You mean it had espresso coffee flavour
whatever
in it?
is supposed to be the
There
word.
is no X in espresso. It's espresso. No X. Sorry. Picky.
Anyway, my coffee today, after having a little tipple yesterday, my coffee today has a little tiny bit of Baileys in it, in my usual cup.
Well, I have most of the way down a vodka and Coke.
Oh, nice.
Because it has been exactly a week to the hour that Indy left us and went over the Rainbow Bridge, and it's a bit shitty, really. So I thought I could treat myself to a wee tipple.
You definitely can treat yourself to a tipple.
Yeah. But it's okay because he's now a spirit dog and he's in the shack, so it's fine.
He is, and he's now part of our pet cemetery.
He is, yeah.
One of I don't know how many now. I've forgotten. I've lost.
The sounds coming over your mic are just like It's just like a bong.
I'm sorry, that was my cup. That was my cup on the shelf that I've got it was right on the shelf that I've got the mic on as well, because I got the mic on a different shelf to everything else. And I had my cup clanging on it. I'm very sorry. I didn't hear that, but you obviously did.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're professionals. We can do this.
If I play the bit right at the very beginning and leave that bit in, you will see we are not professionals at all.
Yeah, we'll put that on a blooper reel or something.
Yeah, I shall save that little one. Anyway, I'm going to put my drink down here, so hopefully I don't set the mic off. And I'm going to say, let us settle in, and I'm going to swing that light before we start. So tonight we're talking about the Victorians, the original influences of ghost culture. These people loved a haunting. They practically industrialized it.
Which is mad, because they were also obsessed with science and progress. Like, let's build a railway and summon old Aunt Mildred while we're at it.
Yeah, brilliant. Exactly. And that contradiction is part of what makes the ghost stories so fascinating. Old London streets filled with thick pea souper. That's a fog or a smog, actually. And it was called a pea souper or pea soup. And it was thick enough that you couldn't see your own hand in front of your face. A lot of it was fog and smoke mixed together, and it was quite revolting, actually. Quite a few people died out in the smog.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was very healthy to breathe in.
It was definitely not, especially for people who had anything like breathing problems of any sort. It was awful. But it was very well known back in the day, before they started putting, I think it was
we're also talking Britain at this point.
We are, yes.
Victorian Britain.
Yeah, with lots of coal fires all over the city. And then they eventually phased that out, and you weren't allowed to have smoke. You had to have smokeless fuel. But gas lamps were flickering. Horses' hooves echoed upon the cobblestones. And inside those tall, narrow houses, people were sitting around their coal fires telling stories about spirits that refused to stay dead.
And half of them were probably just trying to scare the other members of their family. Let's be honest.
Yes, they definitely were. Or their servants, of course.
That's very true. Or their servants' families.
Yes. Anybody, actually. You can chuckle more. Here's the first twist. The Victorians weren't just entertained by ghosts. They really needed them, because the era was full of change. Industrialization, new technologies, cities were growing too fast, and death was everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. The life expectancy was basically good luck.
Yeah, exactly. So ghost stories became a way to talk about grief, fear, and the unknown. And then photography arrived.
Yes, the era of oops, my thumb was over the shot, and I guess that will be a ghost now.
Yeah, it was like, oh, there's a shape there. Perhaps it's a ghost. Spirit photography. People believed that cameras could capture what the eye couldn't see. And some photographers, let's say they were creative with their techniques.
Double exposure. The original Photoshop. And look at what that's led us to.
Yeah. You can't believe anything you even see anymore.
My goodness, with that and obviously AI, it's a minefield. It's ridiculous. You can't tell what's real and what isn't anymore.
No. And then came the séance boom. Parlours were filled with velvet curtains, crystal lamps and tables that allegedly levitated.
Keyword there being allegedly.
Some mediums were genuine believers, and others were just very good at toe tricks.
Toe tricks?
Yeah. They'd use their feet to tap or move objects under the table, or kick microphones.
I'm sorry, but if we're discussing ghosts using their toes to communicate, then I'm gone. I want no part of that cheesy toe action. Mort, did you just...
I can assure you, Steph, my toes remain uninvolved. After all, I am a gentleman.
Of course you're a gentleman, Mort.
Of course. Make no assumptions otherwise.
And here's where things got really interesting. Victorian writers didn't just tell ghost stories. They actually shaped the ones that we continue to read and tell today.
Kind of like a blueprint for the modern haunting.
It certainly is. They introduced the lonely manor house, the tragic backstory, the ghost with unfinished business, and the skeptical protagonist who slowly unravels.
So basically every horror movie ever.
Yes. Yes. The plot thickens as the Victorian story unwinds. Yeah, pretty much. And here's our next reveal. Many Victorian ghost stories were published in Christmas magazines.
Christmas?
Yeah, ghost stories were a festive tradition. Families gathered round the fire to scare each other stupid.
Honestly, that sounds brilliant and kind of like our family.
Yeah, we used to do it at Halloween as well, didn't we? But there you go.
Absolutely. We've told that story before on the podcast.
Yeah, we have.
Ah, Christmas. Christmas is always better with hauntings. And of course, a proper Christmas pudding.
Okay, another layer. The Victorians were obsessed with the mind, hypnosis, dreams, subconscious fears. So ghost stories became a way to explore psychological shadows.
Like, is it a ghost or am I losing my mind? And on that note, we are not going to discuss here the Victorians and the ways of curing hysteria.
Oh my God, no. It's electric shock treatment or something, wasn't it? And
other things.
And other things, yes, especially women's problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. We'll just gloss over that and pretend like that didn't happen.
Yeah. I'm glad it doesn't happen now. Right. And here's a twist.
It still happens now. It just happens in a very different way now.
Yeah, all right, maybe. And here's a twist. Many Victorian ghost stories never confirm whether the haunting is real.
So the classic, maybe it was the wind, or maybe it's your dead uncle. Straight from Trust Me Bro University.
Because the ambiguity, is that the right word? Ambiguity? I don't use that. Ambiguity. It's not a word I use very often. Made the stories linger, and of course it still works today.
Okay, well, that one wasn't me. Mort, I blame you.
Old wood remembers.
And of course, the Victorians loved rules. Even for ghosts, they believed spirits followed patterns, appearing at certain hours, tied to certain objects, certain dates, certain areas of a garden or a house or a window. Yeah, the ghost appears in the window at the top.
Absolutely. Hey, Mort, are you stuck in a pattern? And if so, is it Paisley?
No, absolutely not. More like stuck in a shack.
A nice bohemian pattern then.
Yeah.
Yes, you are stuck in the shack. Yes, you're right.
Sorry about that.
And here is the big reveal. Ghost stories survived because they weren't really about ghosts. They were about people, their fears, their regrets, their secrets.
And of course, their terrible lighting playing tricks on them.
Yeah, and definitely terrible lighting, but also their longing for connection. Ghost stories let them imagine that death wasn't the end, that love, guilt, regret, or memory could linger.
Which is kind of beautiful, for the love part anyway, and also terrifying for the rest.
Yeah. Lingering ghosts. Sort of exactly the balance that we love. The humans that still crave that even today. We still look to ghost stories. Ghost stories are very popular. If you go on the internet and do a search for the paranormal or, signs that you might see after a loved one goes, or people are always looking for that further connection with somebody that they've lost. And you can totally understand that, especially like in your situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even seeing sort of apparitions and things like that, of just thinking you've seen movement, thinking you've seen something where it used to be. The amount of times that I've thought I've heard Indy get up and move somewhere, and he's not there, bless him. But there are certain places that I will double take on where I think he's laying there, and I'll double take, and obviously he's not there. But all sorts of things like that. Also dreams as well. I like being visited in dreams. That's like a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my question. Do you think the Victorians actually believed in ghosts, or did they just enjoy the scares and the drama?
I definitely think it was both. I think they believed because they wanted to. And I think some people believed because they really had evidence, or thought they had certain amounts of evidence to believe. And they told stories because it helped them make sense of a world that was changing very fast at the time.
Yeah, and I think that the stories are also shared over time, and genuine belief, it has to creep in gradually, doesn't it? Because these people, they're just like us.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. We're still doing the same thing. We still tell stories to understand those dark corners and the shadows. And
to freak each other out before bed.
Absolutely.
Which is a thing. I mean, absolutely a thing.
Yeah. We do.
If you've ever been camping with a family, it's like the done thing, isn't it? You go camping with your family, you sit around the fire and you tell ghost stories about how you're all going to be mauled by, demon wolves in the woods.
Absolutely. Or skinwalkers or...
Yeah, and somehow that's supposed to help your children go to sleep.
Yeah.
What?
I watched something on YouTube the other day of somebody walking their child, obviously to some sort of Halloween thing, and there was somebody in like a Freddy Krueger type mask with a big chainsaw, and actually and the parents allowed their child to be wheeled up in a pushchair, and this whoever it was decided to wield this chainsaw at the child and the child screamed its head off. And you were just like,
I wonder why.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. And yeah. There's scares and scares, people.
Yeah, there are limits, I think, especially with very young children.
Yeah.
Because the fear response is something that is quite, it's totally animalistic. It's a response. It's not a choice to be afraid or not. You can't always choose to control that. And, when you're talking about somebody who has a fear of something, then, you know, you can gradually expose yourself to that fear to lessen it over time. A friend of mine is absolutely terrified of deep water, and she's been playing this computer game that's all set underwater, and it's hysterical to watch her absolutely fall to pieces because she's getting far too into it, and it's starting to it's hitting those fear responses, and it's just very entertaining. It's very entertaining, and it's entertaining because she does it by choice.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
If somebody was doing it to her, I think that would be very much unfair. And I think that's also the thing when you're dealing with children, is that they trust you to keep them safe. And when you then put them in a situation where they are absolutely terrified and they can't even now trust you, like, no, we don't do that. No, thank you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely not. But before we finish tonight, here's a thought. Victorian ghost stories often end with someone realising that the ghost wasn't really haunting them, but warning them.
I love that.
I have heard stories before about ghosts or spirit. Let's go more on spirit. Coming through to somebody who is perhaps more open to spirit and giving messages.
They're definitely visiting you over me then.
Yeah, I'll pass it on. It's fine. But definitely like sending a message to sort of say, might be a good idea to pop to the doctor. Go and see your doctor. Just might be a good idea. And then, of course, the person who actually takes notice of this message goes to the doctor. And it's happened so many times to people. Or don't go somewhere tomorrow, or don't catch that train. Or I often feel sometimes, I think I've said this before, that if something stops me getting in the car when I'm supposed to get in the car, then something stops me on the way.
I think we talked about being held up in traffic, like when there's a tractor or something, and you can curse that for it holding you up. But then when you pass down the road and then all of a sudden you come across an accident, and it's like, oh my God, would I have been involved if I was traveling at normal speed?
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair thing.
Yeah.
That crosses my mind, quite regularly.
Yeah. And you put that down to something called fate sometimes, but when you're sort of spiritually open, you think, well, was it someone just making sure you didn't? I don't know. I'd love to know the listeners' stories, though, of stuff like this.
Absolutely. There's got to be people out there that have experienced something that has, like you say, like stopped them from getting in the car, stopped them from, told them to go to the doctors, and something's happened, and they've caught something early and been fine. We want the good news stories, please. Need some good news stories right now. Okay. Yeah. I don't want too many negative ones, but
yeah,
because we might just have to save those.
Because as much as we are talking about spirit and hauntings and ghost stories, which were sent to scare us a little bit, and we do like to be scared. Like we were saying, we choose to go to the Halloween haunted nights and ghost investigations, and we watch them on YouTube. And I think some of the ones that I've watched of like camping trips where something happens in the night, and the most thing that they've been frightened of is actually real human beings turning up and scaring the bejesus out of them.
Well, this is like the thing we were saying before about how our scary movies and things like that have changed from being the monsters and the awful things to actually just being other people. Like zombie movies have made a huge leap because they are one of the scariest things we can think of is, is that kind of thing. It's humans going rogue.
Yeah.
And suddenly humans not following the normal rules of society. And, yeah, that's terrifying.
But you don't even have to be a zombie to do that.
No, quite.
People not following the rules of society and just going rogue, I'll say no more.
Yeah, quite. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to have a drink now.
I think, I've finished mine. I need another one now. It's all getting a bit heavy in the shack.
Yeah. Yeah, only because it's not ghosts that are scaring us. I'd rather have the ghosts.
Yeah. I was going to say, I need a few ghosts right now just to put me off of reality.
Reality is more frightening at the moment than anything that I think a ghost story could come up with.
Yeah, I have to admit, I have been extremely grateful for the isolated location that I have here and the ability to just turn everything off and go into my vegetable garden and feel quite content.
We call it our little bubble.
Yeah.
Where we can turn things off and just watch nice things.
Nice things. I think it's important. It's important to realize that just because you turn it off, it doesn't go away. I feel very lucky to be able to step out of that environment.
Yeah.
And just come into a very safe place where I am at the moment. And I'm realizing more and more now the fact that there are many people who cannot do that because their world is encompassed by horrors.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. So hopefully the shack can be a little, break. Hopefully it can be a little place.
A little shining, safe place.
Yeah. A little shining ray of hope for anybody listening, that we are thinking of you, and I hope you are all very safe. I know that some of you won't be, but hopefully you can have a little listen to the shack stories and it give you a little bit of an escape.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho's. So if you ever feel a chill at the back of your neck, stop.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
It's gone all the way to the end.
She's using a cue for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. It's
actually, it's not for the first time, but I'm using one that's actually in the program that we're using to record this on. And I keep pressing the wrong button. Instead of the pause button, let me explain. The pause button is normally just where my finger is, here, right?
The people listening to us cannot see that, but that's fine.
I know, but it's like towards the left-hand side of my screen. Okay, for those of you that are just listening, that's where the pause button is. But when I press the pause button and then I go to the pause button is more here in the middle, right in the middle.
No one cares where the button is. What?
But the stupid thing is, when I press play, the play button is in a different place, but then the play button goes to where the pause button goes. So when I come back to stop it again, instead of it playing,
you can simply say the button moves and I press the wrong button.
Yeah, the button moves and then I press the wrong button, and the button I press is not the play button, nor is it the pause. It's not either. It's the go faster button. So when I press it, the writing just goes like that, just disappears. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's it. That's all my words gone. That's all my script gone. We don't need a script, really, do we? Oh my!
I think we go rogue on our own. It's fine.
We don't mind going rogue. But now I've got to try. Now I've got to try and find where we were, because it does help to keep us on track a little bit.
It does. It does.
Ah, dear.
I can say it for you if you like. My words are perfectly still on a screen on a Word document like normal people have.
I think I'm just going to try my other one, because when I'm going to go back to the other one, but then I'm not looking at the screen anymore. Oh, for God's sake, this is so stupid. Right. So if you ever feel a chill at the back of your neck or hear a soft tap on the window when no one's there, maybe it's not a haunting.
Maybe it's like a little message notification.
Yeah.
A noble tradition, so please do pay attention.
Thanks for that, Mort. And the message right now is, please subscribe, comment, follow us, and help us grow our little community. We have loads of downloads. We sort of know where you're listening from, but we need you to communicate with us, because we hardly ever get any comments. We get a couple, and we do try. And somebody had written and given me some advice on when I was telling my stories, could I be a bit quicker, which I tried last week. And
you are queen of the dramatic pause, you've got to be honest.
I do like a pause, you see. I do like a dramatic pause. That comes from my stage training when I was doing amateur dramatics. So I think, yeah, that's where it comes from. So, yes, I sort of tried to do what somebody asked me to do. So we really do take note of everybody's comments. It's like when I go on to our podcast account, and like we've had, I'm trying to remember how many downloads we've had this week. Quite a few, actually, more than usual. Our numbers are going up, which is lovely, but we've got no more followers on our podcasts than we had before. So we just need someone to follow us. If you follow us...
So either that, people might be listening and then going, well, that's a load of shit. No, I won't bother with that then. We're just really lucky that we're just finding new people every week.
Yeah, perhaps that's true. Oh dear. But we really would love you to click on it, because the more people click on and follow us, the more they put our podcast out to other people. And so we can slowly grow our community a little bit more, get more ideas from you lot out there listening to us about what sort of way you want us to go, what things you want us to cover, what subjects, what stories, what areas you'd like us to look at. So your input is really, really important.
One of the things that I would really like to know from anyone who is listening to our podcast is, are you a skeptic or are you a believer? I feel like we need to put a poll out or something to find out who's listening to us, who kind of side with you on this, who get the feelings and get all the sort of more spiritual people, and who are more like me that don't seem to get any of those messages. They just seem to bypass me completely. And yeah, so I'm curious. I'm curious to know who you relate to more. Is it you or is it me?
Or is it in the middle? Is it just
open? Or is it in the middle? Yeah.
Is it open-mindedness?
Yeah. Because I'd like to think I'm open-minded. I just don't get those signs and signals that other people seem to get more than me.
And the feelings. It's feelings and signs.
Yeah, I don't get the feelings.
Yeah.
More than a feeling. Oh, shit, we've got to pay for that.
Copyright. Yeah. So, wrong shelf. I put that
wrong lever.
So, yes, our message is subscribe, comment, follow us, and help us to grow our little community of shackpackers. Because you never know, one day We might go really rogue and go live, and you won't even know we'd gone live, and we'll end up talking to nobody because you won't know.
I think that's likely if we went live right now.
That nobody would be out there.
No. They might be. We might be lucky.
You never know. One or two might hop in.
They might.
Hop back out again.
Yeah. But don't forget, Shack Pack, to keep your minds open and your lamps lit.
And we'll see you all again next week at the Freakin Shack.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out in the shack with us. If you've got a strange story, theory, or even just a spooky question, send it to shackpackinbox@gmail.com because we'd love to hear from you. Follow us to ensure that you never miss an episode of the Freakin Shack, because listening to us is much cheaper than therapy and slightly more spooky. Until we meet again next week, Shackpackers, take care.